in knots. Karma keeps me cautious, and bourbon keeps me brave. And just a little too honest to believe that I am saved. But I am still new at getting old. Pay these dues and wear down these bones. Breaking is easy and hope is hard. And some days are good and some years aren't. Some people change, some things don't. When life's a stage, it's all mirrors and smoke. And everyone's a friend till the hard times come around. But what I've learned, I learned the way no one tells you about. 'Cause I am still new at getting old. I pay these dues and wear down these bones.
Not only am I physically out of shape, my bike to run routine is way out of whack. Forgot my hydration. But we had the first frost this morning. It was 28 degrees this morning while waiting for my coffee. It's a little smoky. We have a huge wildfire out north on Togety Pass, so I thought today, since I'm just getting back into it after a different kind of summer, decided to take the boot pack up Snow King, which is a little over 1,500 feet climb in about a mile. So didn't want to run it and be sucking too much wind. I'm taking lots of breaths, so I'm not sucking in a lot of smoke. And then I'll just run down and ride home. The saying goes, focus on what you can control, not on what you can't control. And it's not a cliche for nothing. .98 miles, 1,522 feet. Can't tell you how many times I've done this climb throughout the years, but today, coming off a different kind of summer, a little bit lower training volume than I'm used to, it felt like the first time. And I hear from a lot of my athletes when they've having to take a hiatus from training for whatever reason, they always use that term, oh, I just dread starting all over again. And if you have experience with running and with endurance training, you're never starting over again. Your brain always remembers. My cardiovascular system feels pretty good right now, even from the hiatus. It's from 30 years plus of doing this. But my legs are behind, and that's where I felt it. And it felt like it was the first time for the legs. And our brain will always go, oh, I'm never gonna get back to where I was. But we have to focus on what we can control. And what we can control is not changing what we're thinking, but realizing, hey, that beginner feeling like you're starting all over will always be there. You just got to listen to it. You just got to process it and realize that your brain always remembers everything you've done in the past. You're that athlete from the past that now is in the moment and will be in the future. So never think you're starting over again. And what you can control is getting out the door. It's always better in this situation to focus on consistency than to think you got to start ramping up the miles immediately again, like you're used to doing. That's probably the worst thing you can do. Get consistent, get out the door for 20 minutes every day. That consistency in the next 2 weeks, next 3 weeks is gonna make you feel like this hiatus, this time off never happened, because your body loves consistency. So if you had to take time off, resist the urge of having to get right back into building volume. Take a few weeks to just get consistent doing something every day. Do less more often. Your body will love it, and it'll really help the mindset of, okay, I'm not starting back over again. This consistency's bring me back to that mindset of, okay, I've done this before. You're gonna wanna keep getting back into that long run, but that's gonna perpetuate that feeling of, oh, I'm never gonna get back to where I was before. Get consistent. Go for a 45-minute run as your long run for several weeks. Do something every day. Consistency, doing less more often, will build much better strength than doing more less often and getting in that mindset of having to ramp up the miles quickly. And don't think you're not going to have those negative thoughts. You will. It's natural, okay? Just listen to them and start reviewing everything you've done in the past. You're that athlete. You're not this beginner athlete again. Focus on what you can control. I tell my athletes, it's not important what you think. It's important what you do after you think. Get out the door, be consistent, do less more often. And if you're an ultra athlete, resist the urge of falling back into that ultra mindset of, hey, if I don't go out for an hour, it's not worth going out. Less more often. Fall in love with that 20 minutes. See how powerful it is. One trick, while you're focusing on what you control during this time, is run someplace new where you have no prior knowledge, so you don't have to compare maybe where you were at before. A nice trick of just kind of being stimulated by someplace new. And by doing less more often for a couple weeks, you're going to be shocked at how good you feel. And then during this time, start planning that future goal, that big goal that maybe you're going to do for the next year. We're coming up on UTMB 100-mile race in Chamonix, France. I think it starts tomorrow based on our filming of this. And it's the first year I haven't had someone running in a few years. So I'm excited just to watch it and watch the live coverage. But again, using this time to get motivated about what you really want to do, whether it's next season, later in this season, really helps you to stay motivated. And, you know, maybe motivation's a poor word as a bee flies around my head. But using this time to really get excited about taking on a new adventure. And then contact me for coaching. Remember, it fills up fast for next year. I hate saying no to people, so get a hold of me early so I don't have to say no and I'm full. All right, I'm gonna hit some fun stuff here. Some nice, fun single track, and I'm gonna call it from here. So over and out from Snow King, Jackson Hole, Wyoming, Born to Run World. See you guys. Here we go. Boy, that felt good. And in my last video, after all summer of not making videos, I mentioned how I was gonna maybe do a little bit different format content, and it's gonna be a little bit more freeform, a little bit more what's going through my mind. And so I'm forcing myself to stop after this, even though I said over and out. I was running down that beautiful single track. I had the perfect shoes on for that really technical, loose gravel, stony, rocky trail, and I just felt great. And as I was bombing down the hill, like I said, I really felt great. And I saw this power hiker coming up, and there was quite a bit of distance between us, and we just kept making eye contact as I was running down and she was hiking up. And I could tell like she was just kind of scoping me out. And as we passed, she just said, "Hey, you're killing it. You look great." And I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing snoking for a long time. And I can't tell you how good that felt for someone else to encourage me after taking some time off. I felt good. That person made me feel good about myself. So I guess my point is that whenever you're out, encourage someone else. Doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Just send some good vibes their way. It makes them feel good. It's going to make you feel good. I'm sure, I don't know how she felt when she said that, but I just wanted to thank her. I don't know who she was, but thank you. It just meant the world, and it just made me feel so good after this run. And with that, of getting back into running after taking time off, hey, I'm getting back into making these videos. And it was a struggle today. I had to force myself to do it. I was out of shape for doing videos. I fumbled around with my camera. I didn't know what I was doing. I just it really felt forced. And by the time I'm done, it's almost like getting back into running. I'm getting back into filming, and I feel so good about it. And I feel so stoked to do more. So just wanted to share that to you. Go encourage someone when you see them running past you. Throw some good vibes their way. All right, over and out now. See you guys.